What would it take for you to dump the Toyota Tacoma? Maybe try something else. Good morning, everybody. How are you today? Pretty good here, and I'm curious. What would it take for you to dump the Toyota Tacoma? You know, there are a lot of other options out there right now, and the gap seems to be narrowing a bit, at least as far as capability goes and looks, styling, all that kind of stuff. Options, you know, all those kind of things. There are a lot of other manufacturers out there who are jumping into the midsize truck ring right now, and it's not surprising. It's a hugely popular market. So I'm not really surprised. But I got to thinking about this myself. You know, I am a truck enthusiast. You know, not just from a usability standpoint. Matter of fact, I'd say not at all from a usability standpoint. And what I mean by that is I'm not throwing construction materials in the back. I'm not dumping rocks and dirt back there. I like the looks of them. I like to drive them. I like the feel of them. So what would it take for me to dump the Toyota Tacoma? Well, you know, it would take a lot, I think, first of all, because I really do love the truck. I've said many times on the channel, it's the best looking truck out there. And of course, you can't beat it from a quality standpoint. But let's set quality aside for a minute. First thing is power, right? I have preached this on the channel, right? I like power, particularly off the line power, right? When I hit the accelerator, I don't want to lag. I want it to go. You know, I don't ever want it to feel like it's lacking. And if I'm being honest, the Tacoma does right now. You know, it feels sluggish, slow, heavy. It needs a shot. So if something else comes out that's got more power, it's going to catch my eye a little bit. Comfort. Now, it's not that the Tacoma is horribly uncomfortable. It's not horribly uncomfortable, but it doesn't knock your socks off either. I mean, I don't jump in the Tacoma and feel like I'm sitting in that plush recliner at home, right? Nor should I. I mean, let's face it, I'm not looking to jump in my Tacoma, drive for 5 minutes, and then fall asleep, you know, like I might do in a recliner. Yeah, that never happens. But anyway, I want it to be more comfortable. One of the most comfortable vehicles I ever had, strangely enough, was the Jeep Cherokee. That thing had the most plush and comfortable seats I've ever had. And the Toyota Tundra. You know, nice, big, meaty seats. They were always really comfortable. And I don't know why Toyota hasn't done that with the Tacoma. Again, they're not horrible, but it's nothing that I jump into and go, this feels really good. Even more tech. You know, I love tech. And I know there's a lot of purists out there who don't like it. They'd be happy with the old cable-controlled, you know, AC vents and heating controls and even the wire running from your accelerator to the engine, right? I don't want that. I want even more tech. For example, I want a heads-up display. I think that's one of the coolest, most useful things that are out there. You know, you're cruising down the road and right in front of you, somewhere placed on your windshield, right where it should be so that you don't get distracted, is a readout. And you can have all kinds of different things up there. Primarily for me, speed. Speed was always nice to be able to look right there and see it. And you know, I would think, since we're all so concerned about safety and that everybody else needs to be safe, and we make it our business, that that's not a standard feature. I mean, anything that keeps your eyes pointed down the road has got to be a good thing, right? And let's face it, when you're checking your speed, and I might be a bit oversensitive with that, I'm always looking at the speedometer to see how fast I'm going, especially if I see one of our friendly men in blue sitting out there. But if it was sitting right up in front of me, it's always right there, and they're always transparent, right? So it's not like you have to really stare right at it or it blocks anything. It's sitting right there. I'm surprised it's not a standard thing. A giant screen. I love the great big infotainment screens they're putting in trucks now. You know, the best out there, in a truck anyway, has got to be Rams. You know, Ram has this big 12-inch screen. It's awesome. It reminds me of the #1 screen out there, and that's the Tesla. Tesla has got that down, man. That screen they put inside theirs is awesome. I love that. Great big, giant, huge thing. Very clear, looks awesome. We need that, or at least some version of it in the Tacoma, right? For me. Modability. The one thing that anything else, if I was ever to get anything other than the Tacoma, would have to be Modability. You know, I like tinkering, obviously, with the channel. If you watch the channel, you know I've done many, many different things on this truck, and I want to be able to do that going forward. You know, I think there's a lot of other brands out there, you know, the Nissans, maybe the Colorados. They just don't have that same ability, I think. You can do some things, of course, but they don't have that giant market that Toyota has, right? Which is awesome about the Tacoma. Number 4, this is a personal thing, I'll tell you, but ever since I was in high school, when I saw this in the parking lot, you know, one of the wealthier students' parents bought their kid it was a 1960-some, I think, Dodge Charger. And that thing was painted cherry black. Have you ever seen a true cherry black? Man, it is an awesome color. And I gotta say, if somebody came out with that cherry black and it was comparable in all other ways, horrible to admit it, but that might actually sway me. And I know it's just a color, right? Who cares? Well, I care. I mean, obviously, look at what's sitting behind me, right? The blue unicorn. You don't miss this thing when it's out driving around, right? I never lose it in a parking lot. It matters to me. Cherry black. Number 5, the manual transmission. And this is where Toyota really has everybody else right now, except for the Gladiator, right? You can't get a Ranger in a manual. You can't get a Colorado in a manual transmission. You can't get a Nissan Frontier in a manual transmission. So Toyota has the market right now. Although I will say that market is shrinking and very small. So in the grand scheme of things, keeping a manual transmission is probably not going to be a big enough reason for most people out there to dump the Toyota Tacoma. But it would be for me. I wouldn't get rid of it because I want a manual transmission in the truck. As much as I've talked about the shortcomings of the manual in the Tacoma back there, I do love it. I love whipping through the gears. It's fun to drive. Again, it'd be even better if it had more power and if it was a little bit smoother. But anything else I get going forward is going to have that. Otherwise, I would never dump the Toyota Tacoma. Anyway, those are just a few things I've been kicking around, been rattled around up here. Anyway, I'm curious, what would it take for you to dump the Toyota Tacoma? Or are you an extreme purist and it doesn't matter what Toyota does with it, you will never leave? I'd be curious to know. Leave a comment. Also, real quick, I have 2 other channels. The first is RobMotive JT, all about my 2020 Jeep Gladiator. The second is RobMotive Civic, all about my experiences with the Honda Civic Type R and the Honda Civic Sport Hatch. Both manual transmissions, by the way. Check them out, and if you like them, please consider subscribing. Don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And do me a favor, smash that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.